Hey guys, it's me again, Dolfino. I'll be covering another topic in my Get Ready to Go University mini-series. Today we're going to be covering socializing and making friends, so get ready. Most people's biggest fears when starting uni, especially after they've just moved cities and they've had to leave their old friends behind or their old friends have gone other places, is how do I make new ones? Nobody wants to spend the next 46 weeks alone and with no company. So I'm just going to cover a few tips on how to make friends and show you how simple it can be. So how do most people make friends? Well, if you think about it back to say year 7, or even if you were, or say you went to sixth form, chances are you made friends through someone else. So you had an acquaintance and then you find out that you had similar interests. Well, at uni, it's completely different. It's more like starting a reception. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, in year 7, odds are you had nobody anyway. I know most people went to secondary schools with other friends, so it wouldn't really apply here. Like, most people go to university and they don't have their old secondary school friends. So I say reception because, well, I highly doubt any of you went to nursery to then go to the same school as your friend at the time. So at uni, there are 3 main ways of which people meet new people, and that is accommodation, and that's the people they live with, workshop, people they go to class with, as it were, and the last one is going out, socializing, which is nights out or even joining a club, being part of an alumni. So they're the 3 main ways people make friends. Is it easy? Well, to be fair, at uni, the easiest way to make friends is in the first week. All you have to do is go up to someone and say hi. And I know that people with social anxiety disorder, that could be tough. So it's really about getting involved in conversation where you feel like you have no place to be. I myself, I made friends by getting involved in a Game of Thrones conversation, and well, they're still my friends today, so what can I complain about that? Of course, with time, making friends gets a little harder. People form cliques and groups, and getting into those groups does mean time isn't on your side. That being said, most people at uni are friendly. They know the predicament you're in, and well, let's just say most people are mature enough to realize, hey, I could do with another friend. If you can prove yourself to be, let's say, a nice person, or even a horrible one, people are into that, you'll find a group with no problem at all. So what are the common social conventions that students go through? Well, there's, like I said earlier, partying and going out, but there's also pre-drinks, which is to go out to, say, someone's flat, and it's like a mini party, it's like a pre-party before the after party, as it were. And at these pre-parties, people usually bring their own drinks, and it's far more social. There's not necessarily music, but there's a lot more conversation flowing, and there's usually drinking games. Now, I'm not going to get into drinking games because I don't really know that too many myself, but what I will tell you is that it's usually common courtesy to just bring a bottle and add to the atmosphere. You don't have to be the most friendly person to go to pre-drinks, you just pretty much have to be there, and people are not usually against you bringing a friend. So even if you have a friend from another group, you can bring them to pre-drinks. Socializing is socializing as far as people are concerned. And usually, what I said earlier about it being harder to break into groups, well, the easiest way is to get into a group is to know someone who's already in a group, and then you can just join their group, kind of thing. That's for those of you who may start in, like, say, January rather than September. It's not impossible to join a group later on in the year, as long as, you have put a nice smile, exude some confidence to a level that isn't self-loathing, and people will usually find you somewhat accommodating. Like attracts like. What do I mean by that? Well, if you think about it, it's not necessarily opposites attract in this case scenario. I'm going to get a bit scientific here, but when people are desperate, we give off these hormones, these pheromones that people can pick up on our desperation. So in being desperate, we only can ever attract other desperate people, and That's why you find out that the most cool people are chill guys or girls, depending on how you want to go about it. Does that mean everyone is chill? No, that'd be silly. Everyone's different in their own way. You know that. Think about it. The reason why people don't hang out with everyone is because people have different likes and different interests. That being said, at uni, people are a lot more open-minded. So before, where you say you liked a certain band and be criticized for it, here you might get the same level of criticism, but it's a lot more light-hearted, because nobody really wants to exclude people unless they have a solid feeling to. Like one example is this one guy who people believed he was psychotic because he would turn up at really random times at night to the accommodation, and he would make really creepy sounds and like only take out the biggest knife, stuff like that. And although it seems nothing, as I'm telling you, when you're new to a town or city and you're sharing a house with, say, 5 or 6 other strangers, people who are just a little bit different can find it troubling. However, that being said, that guy turned out not to be by himself all the time. He had other friends, and that's why he was turning up late at night. The thing is, you just got to find the people who you can click with, and usually you'd find those people on your course because you've all shared the same passion for the same subject, and that gives a good platform of conversation. In the car community, for example, of course there's also the divisions between, like, say, import and tuner, and although that means nothing to most of you, it just means that of course there will be a division in some topics, but that being said, the overarching common interest are as cars, and if you can find an overarching interest, it just means that you have something to base conversation on. Even if it's a little bit uncomfortable, you usually find that most people, they click. A few minutes, a few hours, or it could be a few days of niggling, really, and that's when you just realise what someone's like, and they usually come to like someone for it. Just those little tweaks. Making friends at uni is a lot easier than it's ever portrayed. Because people are new and in the same boat as you, you're usually sharing the same feeling of, I'm a bit nervous, who do I trust? Although the barriers are safe for you normally, sometimes it's easy to let them down a little bit. Just give people a chance, and you usually find that they're giving you a chance as well. To be fair, and well, the things what they say is that the people you meet at uni usually are your friends for life. Of course, this is where, say, elements of like The Sims comes in, and that you really do have to manage your relationships, in as much that your new friends and your old friends, there usually is a huge difference between them, and just because you make new friends doesn't mean you should neglect your old friends. But what you choose to do with your time is your choice. So if you want to dedicate more time to your new friends or your old friends, it's perfectly fine. Just know that each one has their own benefits to you. One, say, is when you go home, people to socialise with then, and the others are ones that you can socialise with throughout the year. So that's me, Dr. Dolfino, and I'm signing out.